Scalpers have officially ruined a source of product for Pokemon, as many people rely on big box stores, as some news is coming out that a local Target has said they are completely done. They are not going to carry Pokemon anymore. Now this comes over on Reddit from somebody by the Best Pokemon Deal, and they did verify this information. And it says, to ensure the safety of our guests and team members, effective May 14th, MLB, NFL, NBA, and Pokemon trading cards will no longer be sold in stores until further notice. There was a lot of debacle of whether this was from COVID times, because there was a lot of craziness during that, but it does look like people have verified this Target and have also verified the SKUs that are listed on the shelf here to prove that this is current day. I was sketched out because it said May 14th, but I was assuming they already made orders for product that they can't turn away maybe, and that's probably why we're going to see this. Now from the source, they say some Targets are now no longer carrying Pokemon in store. A manager told me it depends on the store, but sucks to see that the chaotic nature of people is causing managers to decide to opt out of trading card games. I had to check to make sure this wasn't a COVID era old image, but the SKUs and products check out. Now I do want to say that this is not only affecting Target as a big box store, but it is also affecting Walmart. These are third parties that go to the store, fix the shelves, have a certain display, and they pretty much just get premier shelving space and they arrange it how they are supposed to from the distributor. Orion, a fellow creator 6K out there that is actually killing it right now, was able to interview somebody that was part of the TCG restocking, debacle here, I guess, from previous times, and even has some inside knowledge as of right now that Walmart is even considering this.
All right, guys, so I just popped in here, and somebody that deals with some of the vendoring and distribution at these stores was in here, and I told him, like, hey, I'm in here like every single week, every day, and there's never any product. I mean, y'all can see there's no Pokemon stuff at all. And so out of respect for him, I'm not going to put him on camera, but I want you guys to hear what he has to say about when you get out here. I know I've always talked about the early bird gets the worm, but that might not necessarily be the case, and obviously it's going to go case by case, store by store basis. But just listen to this.
Some of these vendors realize that they are being followed. They see the same people at the same stores. Obviously they can't speak up, but they're very frustrated about it. Some of them will change their schedule. With my company, a couple years ago, I actually was a stocker for the sports cards, and we got a memo from the company that actually asked us to look around and underneath our car to see if we had tracking devices on them. True story. And but it's some of these vendors will actually change their schedule. There was a point that my company asked me they actually offered us an opportunity going to work either after 4 in the morning or 4 a.m. Or go in after 11 to stock to avoid these problems as well. So some of the stores, you guys know it out there, a couple years ago, there's bad raps. Guys that were coming in looking for cars. Literally, there's a store I knew that they got in a couple of fights for breaking out here and there, and the store wanted to discontinue.
We're seeing a lot of that recently too.
Walmart's actually talking about discontinuing it. I can't see that happening, but I've seen a couple of Walmarts that don't carry the cards anymore. So
it is not all doom and gloom for every situation, as this is one Target, but I could see a lot of other Targets wanting to do this, and it does look like there are people that are in the community that maybe work these big box stores that are trying to fix and rectify this to make it easier, because as a manager, most people have too many issues that they're not worried about Pokemon cards. This user says, I work at Target and helped set up a 2 limit per yesterday, and says, after a couple weeks of people following the vendor into our store and buying out everything I got with all the management, and helped set up stanchions with signs notifying everyone of a 2 per purchase limit with a dedicated cashier to ring up the madness. This was the first week where multiple people, 20 to 30, all got something of prismatic from our restocks. It'll be something that we continue to do until this craziness dies off. That is the case. Like, people are legitimately following restockers, putting trackers on restocking vehicles. Like, the fact that this is the case, and it also leads to some of our suspicions, because a lot of people are like, How is there already a line here? Why is that the case? Like, do they have some inside knowledge? And I'm like, they probably didn't. They probably have some way of knowing this. I doubt the vendor would say, here's my phone number, Joe. I'm going to let you make all this money. That's not their ideal situation, especially as they're like just trying to do their job. But this might be a serious violation of privacy. And to give an example of this recently, that was only a few days ago, was here in Virginia Beach that they were showing restocking happening with MJ Holdings, one of the distributors that was restocking the shelves in Virginia Beach, and there was already a line going on. Now with this, I'm going to tell you guys that there could be some benefits of this, but there could be negatives because there's always both. Now, if your big box store is deciding, I don't want to do this anymore, we're done, distributors might be more willing to send product to local card shops, local game stores in order to make sure that they are still making money somehow because they have a greater vested interest to move the product than a big box store because they can take losses like this. They are not depending on Pokemon product to be the breadwinner of how they survive any, boom or bust of the economy. There is an actual liability because I continue to say this, somebody could die from this, and I'm not exaggerating. We saw KFC chicken, PS5s, people are insane out here, what they're willing to do while waiting in line for some hot new item. And I will tell you that there's a lot of effort being put into this, even having to put them behind counters and stuff like that, where it's more so a nuisance and actually a liability of the store, because what if somebody gets hurt on their property? What if somebody sues them? Where are we at with this now? The secondary effect of this is I did watch this clip of an Australian card shop or game store that did show that somebody did a calculated attack on their business to collect Pokemon cards or steal them. And essentially, this is what you see.
The aim of the game is to catch 'em all, but now these Pokemon pinching crooks are the ones caught on camera.
They just cracked down our door. These were seasoned career criminals. They had a wheelie bin. They had this whole entire thing planned out.
Seeing that was just kind of shattering.
The thieves busted into locked stores and brought their own bin to fill with collectibles. They switched the lights on and ignored loud sirens, focused only on clearing the shelves and loading getaway cars.
They're just animals. I don't think they really seem to understand that this is small businesses.
All up, each store has lost thousands of dollars in stock and copped a significant damage bill. But for Jason Z, the worst part is that these thieves pounced just after he'd locked up.
That's what really scares me, that these people are stalking me. They've figured out my routine, and they're breaking in specifically when I'm leaving.
My worry is if the big box stores deny stock and it goes to local card shops, those local card shops, yes, they will eat that up because they need to feed themselves and eat themselves. But I will say they have less security. They have less ability to recover from this stuff. And obviously, they are going to be hindered by the economic impacts greater than the little, thieves that we see on Reddit, with packs that have been taken out of the packaging already to kind of get 1 or 2 packs or whatever. But that is my worry of this. Now, on top of that, I have to respect, as somebody that came from a small town, that I relied on Target and Walmart big box stores in order to obtain any Pokemon cards. And so there, I think now is one shop in my hometown, but back then there was nothing. So I had to drive an hour away to go to any kind of card shop. So if this happens at your local store and they decide they don't want to do Pokemon cards because of this insanity, you are pretty much stuck with just ordering online and paying these scalper fees, unfortunately. And this is especially for kids because we know the single pack store lane checkouts or the blister packs or whatever else are really good for kids because not every parent can afford buying a booster box or an ETB at that time because that can be quite difficult. And I'm going to wrap this up with there are some thoughts I have that the sentiment is changing from my experience, but also from what I'm seeing across the board as we are finally, I think, going forward and actually using our wallets. This person says on Pokemon TCG on Reddit says, was at London Card Show yesterday, hardly had anyone buying Prismatic. And to summarize this, they were saying that they typically see people opening packs and things like that, but at this case, there was nobody really doing that. And I have to say, even my own personal experience at PokeCon in Massachusetts, that was actually something that I noticed as well. There was maybe 2 people that bought any kind of Blooming Waters or anything. I think I maybe saw 1 ETB, and there were allegedly 1,100 people that attended that event. And because of that, I have to say, I think that people are burnt out on this, and they have already said they're not going to do it. And I'm hoping that market will reflect, and I'm hoping that Target, Walmart, and stuff like that will continue to stock this stuff, and maybe this will get scalpers to kind of chill out, as we as collectors are probably not going to be paying those prices. But what do you think about Target not carrying Pokemon cards, or these big box stores in general? Because a lot of people rely on this. So let me know what you think down in the comments below.